I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Dave K here today, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving, a happy holidays upon us here, and send you joy and positivity for the holiday season. Today, Dave K, life update, what's new, what am I working on, holiday plans, talk to you about my road trip, talk to you about New Year's resolutions, what's to come in terms of the video stuff, as well as life in general. Let's get to it. Kickstarting us off here today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about my road trip. I know a lot of people were asking, Dave, what the heck is going on? You are not in Florida. What's going on? Where you at? What you doing? So, I had an opportunity to view some beautiful places. If you saw my Instagram stories, I went to Nashville, somewhere I've been meaning to check out, and I had a chance to check out a variety of restaurants there, different neighborhoods, and that sort of thing, which was a lot of fun. And I'm glad I had a chance to check out Nashville. It was my first time there, and it was cool, definitely cool. Pros and cons, it's interesting because as I think to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, check out new places. You don't necessarily know what to expect. So checking it out, definitely a variety of things that I appreciate, things where I'm like, well, maybe this isn't ideal for me. And in case you're wondering why I'm going to these places, well, you shall see before long. Now, I wanted to check it out, but I'm also thinking about next steps for Dave, things like that. This is alluding to what may be next, what may be to come in terms of Dave Adventures. You'll see soon enough. And so I went to Nashville, spent a week out there. It was really, really nice. Pros and cons for me. And then I spent a week afterwards in Dallas, Texas. And I love Texas, I gotta say. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely love Texas. If you know Dave, he loves his Tex-Mex, he loves his barbecue, he loves his friendly people, and all kinds of great things about Texas. So I really enjoyed visiting both Nashville and Dallas. It was a road trip. It was a long drive. So I stopped in Atlanta for a night on the way to Nashville. And that was all right. I didn't get to check out as much of Atlanta as I might have liked, but it was cool to just drive through, get an initial feel of the Atlanta area. I feel like there's, again, you got to know where you're traveling to. It's interesting, We're very fortunate, and I'm very fortunate, in terms of in the States and the experiences that we have, that we know, where to be and what to do and things like that. This doesn't sound very good. And so I wanted to be extra mindful of making sure that I was being cautious and safe in different parts of the world. And I will leave it at that. So drove through Atlanta. We spent a week in Nashville. I drove from Nashville to Little Rock, Arkansas for one evening, and then from Little Rock went and spent a night in Dallas. So those were long drives, I must say, but not as long of a drive as driving from Dallas to Orlando in 2 days. So instead of stopping every, let's call it 5, it's not exactly 5 hours, but, splitting up a 10-hour trip into 2 days, we split up a 16-hour trip, more or less, into 2 days. And it wound up being more than that. It wound up being more like 18 on the way back here. Supposed to be 9 from Dallas to Mobile, Alabama. Gotta say that right, Mobile, Alabama. And then when I went from Mobile to Florida, to Orlando area, it was supposed to be more like 7 hours, and wound up being like 9. Wound up being like 9, maybe even plus. Because, man, let me tell you, traffic. Florida drivers, that's one of the things that I haven't loved about Florida is the traffic and the driving in Florida. There's a lot of things to love. Don't get me wrong. Love the warmer weather. Love the beaches. Love the no state income tax and love the, considerable affordability. I know people are like, what do you mean affordability? It really depends on your lens, right? So prior to living in Florida, I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. Let me be clear. Considerable affordability. And everywhere that I just listed, Nashville and all that, considerable affordability compared to a San Francisco, a New York City, a lot of these other places, Washington, D.C., etc. So, considerable affordability in Florida. And there's such a variety of fun things in terms of the theme parks and such. So I really enjoy that. But one of the big challenges for me here is the driving and the drivers. And so, yeah, that was, I was like, try to take deep breaths. It's important to be mindful and to be peaceful and positive in life. And that includes when driving, for me specifically. And that ties right into my next conversation. But I really enjoyed the trip. It was quick. maybe even shorter than I anticipated, but I enjoyed it overall. And there's some changes to come from it, so keep your eyes open for those. That being said, it ties into my goals. We just had talked about happiness and mindfulness, my New Year's resolutions. I wanted to talk about my New Year's resolutions here as well. And I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. What are your resolutions? What are you working on? What are your goals for the future? There's a few different things that I'm working on. One is that happiness piece, positivity, and taking the time to be mindful and appreciate everything in life. Gratitude is so huge. And I talk about it a lot, and I think that's a big driver for why I create content and what I want to share with you is that positivity and that mindfulness and that gratitude. But I'm focusing on being even better about that myself. And I've had those moments where I just feel so overwhelmingly fortunate for life in general. So life is good. We are blessed, fortunate, whatever way you want to put it, That being said, another big goal I'm working on, we got the happiness is health. I'm trying to get out there and do some more fitness stuff, trying to do more exercise. I want to get the six-pack. I'm not even close, let's be honest. But I want to get to a six-pack. I'm working on it. I think it was actually the closest the past couple of days. I'm like, I think this is the closest I've been. So, you can feel a whole 4 in there. I'm like, okay, that's something. I was very skinny at one point, several years ago. I was doing some more manual job work, and I was quite lean, but I don't know. I guess the muscle just wasn't there. So it is what it is. Anyways, I would love to get that six-pack, as well as just other health routine. Running, exercise, good cardio health would be nice. So that's something I'm working on. And then one other big thing I wanted to touch on here is the Hollywood piece. Always been interested in video entertainment. Hollywood is just I'm trying to make it an alliteration. I like alliterations for my New Year's resolutions, easier to remember. So we got happiness, health, Hollywood. It doesn't necessarily mean Hollywood specifically, but entertainment is really what it boils down to. Am I doing more YouTube videos? How am I doing those videos? What am I doing that really sits with me in a way that I enjoy sharing content with you? And how can I continue to drive my passion and vision for entertainment in the future? So that could be more videos. It could be some reality stuff, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, which is amazing. It could be stand-up comedy. Could be, funny news show hosting. Maybe finding local shows to participate in. Who knows, right? Maybe Trevor Noah will give me a call. He'll be like, hey, I'd love to work with you on this thing. It'd be totally awesome. Wait, that's not the right person. It's not totally awesome. He'd be more like, I don't know. I probably can't do a Trevor Noah accent right now. I'll have to think on it. Give me some time. So, anyways, where am I going with this? I'm talking about entertainment and my passion for that. That's a resolution for me as well. So I'm telling you my resolutions. People have asked about the no-buy year. And really, I feel like I'm just trying to be more mindful financially, buying less. I think a consistent way of being, I'm thinking about this in general, when it comes to my health too, right? Like, I try to reduce sugars in general, just all the time. It's not like diet time, let me cut everything except salads or smoothies or whatever it is. It's like all the time, can I reduce sugars, etc.? So same, I think, goes for the, what was I even talking about? How did I even get there? Same, I think, goes for the Hollywood stuff, the making videos from time to time. Man, I'm going to watch this back, and I'm going to be so confused. I'm going to be like, man, you totally lost where that train was going. It's over here, says Figment. Lost my train of thought. Okay. So, on the Hollywood train of thought, steps in that direction. Wow, I really have no idea. I want to talk about reality shows. Man, I was so fortunate to have the opportunity. I've been applying for a lot of things, as you probably can envision. I was so fortunate to have the opportunity to meet Jay Leno and go on You Bet Your Life. In case you haven't seen You Bet Your Life, I feel like I can now say that, at least, since the episode is on television and on YouTube. You can check out You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno. It's season 2, episode 40, in case you're interested. So much fun. Man, I feel so fortunate. And again, it just reminded me. I'm like, man, first of all, felt super fortunate to be on it. Felt like it was a step in terms of moving small steps, towards this passion that I have of being on TV, being in front of people, entertaining people, making people laugh. Positivity, mindfulness, gratitude, all those things. It was also just an amazing experience where I felt really good about it, and I watch back and I'm like, man, this was so much fun. I want to do more of that. So I felt so fortunate to have the opportunity to be a part of that. Felt so fortunate to meet Jay and to be able to play the game. And of course, no spoilers. You want to see it, go check it out and let me know what you think. And you can leave those comments after you watch it here, though. That's allowed. But maybe don't spoil it for everybody else. So that's just a thought. I don't know, maybe a subsection of spoilers. Maybe someone writes spoilers, and then if you have any spoilers, you can put it under that comment. Anyways, that was so much fun. I want to continue to do things like that, or find a way to move in the Hollywood passion direction, if you will. Okay? That's a big one, and it's tricky. I feel like that's the toughest beast for me to crack, And the reason I make videos, it's funny. I watched a video a while back. I think it was like a Shelby Church or someone like that. And I think it was Shelby. And I think she talked about two types of people who make videos. There's people who make videos because they're passionate about a particular type of content, or they want to talk about a particular type of content, things like that. And then there's people who make videos, and it can be any type of video, because they're passionate about video, and they're passionate about entertainment or some aspect of video, right? So it's the what's the content, and then it's like video and video in general, right? And so I think it becomes harder to define a direction when it's just video in general that you're passionate about. But it's easier to continue to make video because I just always want to share my face and my thoughts and my story and my attitude and positivity and mindfulness and gratitude. Yes. So there's that. Why I brought that up? Because I thought you might find it interesting to understand why maybe I'm sitting here doing something totally different in the past few videos, podcast style. I know some of you have enjoyed it, though, so here we are, giving you a life update and a holiday update, and thanking you so much for being a part of the content, as always, but especially with Thanksgiving that we just passed. So appreciate you, and happy holidays, whatever you may celebrate coming up ahead. So there's that. With the goals, we talked about the show. I'm, again, so blessed to be on that. It was so much fun. And that is the big one to talk about. Although there's another one, a small one to talk about. I don't know if I'll talk about that small one. So, because it was just smaller scale. I was really excited about the J and the Bet Your Life. Again, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. The road trip we talked about briefly as well. Again, I think the purpose for that will reveal itself. But if you want to see the shorts, I really didn't make long form videos for that road trip because I had other business to tend to. But the purpose of that trip will reveal itself before long. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's going to come. You're going to see it. I just don't want it to be like you're expecting something and then like several time periods down the line, you're like, oh man, I was just waiting for this for too long. It's like not exciting anymore. So I'm just going to hint at it. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before the purpose of that trip reveals itself, if you know what I'm talking about. So we got the road trip. We got the reality shows. We got the fitness goals. We got the New Year's resolutions. Let's talk about travel goals and video-wise. Those are the next two categories that I've got to discuss with you here today. In terms of travel goals, I am so fortunate, again, to have the opportunity to be able to travel to these road trips. I do want to see more of the states, but I will say my back, after spending so long in the car, I'm still feeling it. It's been like a week or something like that. And man, I am still feeling the pain in my back from just spending all that time in the car. And I'm very fortunate. My car's got a nice like adaptive cruise control, lane keep, makes my life easier. I'm gonna be mindful of that tech in the future. That's nice tech for your car. But man, my back was like, no, thank you. I wanted to like a standing car after that. Just stand up and drive. Be better. Oh my gosh, I'm like again feeling it in my back right now. So, yeah, I don't know about the road trip thing. As I think about future travel and seeing more of the states, I'm like, do I maybe fly? But then you're like renting cars and all kinds of things like that in order to get around the area. So, we'll see. But there's some really exciting international adventures I'd love to do soon. I would say one of the big ones is a transatlantic adventure I'd love to do, like a transatlantic cruise, honestly. I feel like it'd be a great way to get back over to Europe, but also enjoy the adventure over there. And then I would also have the opportunity to do stuff in Europe while I'm there before I come back. Maybe I can transatlantic cruise back too, because it's like, why not? So that would be cool. But then there's a scheduling thing. It's like, maybe I'll fly because it's faster, but maybe I'll cruise because it's like enjoyable, relaxing. You're just at the water, at sea for like 2 weeks. That'd be pretty cool, right? So that's a big one on my list for someday. I have not booked anything, but I am constantly thinking about that. And there's a lot of questions with that too. Timing, it's a good chunk of time. So we'll see. And then I would love to do, closer to home, Costa Rica, Belize. I may have talked about this before, but I really haven't done much in terms of Central or South America. And that'd be a nicer, closer international adventure. It's going to be a question of timing. I do feel like, though, in terms of traveling and doing these sorts of things, it would be nice to, go with someone who maybe has similar interests when it comes to travel adventures. So maybe another travel buddy, would be good for that. Someone, yeah, I think that point is probably clear. I don't need to dive into like the fact that like, David doesn't really date in general. But yes, it depends on the person, but that'd be cool, right? But I think that would make, like, for example, a transatlantic cruise, like 14 days on a ship, a lot more enjoyable. I would say that there were like the occasional moments, and I think this actually could be a topic I could go into further too. Like with the solo cruise that I went on in Europe was amazing. 7 days. It was amazing. There were the occasional moment where I'm like, yeah, this might be nice with like the right person. But I loved going on that myself too. But of course, the longer the cruise, especially when you're not going to all these ports, it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have somebody to go with and all of that. Not to mention when you get there, there's so much planning, there's so much like to do. It's like so much organization. There's like cost components, like split it with someone, all kinds of things like that. And I'm fortunate to have the flexibility. That's a big thing too. A lot of my friends, I don't think I could necessarily go with because they don't necessarily have the time off or the time flexibility to work remotely or things like that. So again, so fortunate. Knock on bone here. What is going on, camera? Why are you flashing some time? I don't understand. What's up with that? And then the one more thing I wanted to touch base on here, of course, there will be more travel in general, but is the video-wise. What's next, Dave? What are you up to? I will say, what I'm up to is I have no idea. I'm passionate about video. I talked about the Shelby thing. I want to continue to make content and entertain and all that, but I'm trying to figure out the direction. So it may be slower for a while. There may be gaps for a while, like you've seen probably pretty recently. I like the podcast style thing, and I'm trying to maybe align it to a way that makes sense in terms of, can this build towards my passion for maybe TV hosting or maybe reality show or whatever it is. So how do I iterate on the content I'm making? It's been a while since I've done like a superhero sketch, for example. Those were a lot of fun. There's so many things that I could potentially do, but I want to try to find a way to align it. And I also don't want to necessarily create things that are of no interest whatsoever to people. This is fun for me to share like life updates and things like that with you. And I've gotten positive feedback about life updates as well. And so here I am sharing that with you. But I got to figure out exactly what that looks like. Maybe there's some Disney updates that are interesting we could talk about. Maybe there's some talk about solo cruising. Maybe there's talking about, different states and how they compare. Maybe there's talking about different cruise lines and how they compare. Who knows, right? So many things to talk about. Just got to figure out that direction. We shall see. Ladies and gents, that's the short of it is, I don't know. You may see some long gaps where I think about it and nothing, sparks my passion to share with you. And you may see like a bunch of stuff come up because I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going on a super exciting adventure like a cruise or something, and I want to share all the fun. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I've done some shorter form and some longer form. Like I think about my Europe cruises, and I'm like, I think those were shorter, if I recall. Or some of my cruise videos, maybe it was Alaska. Some of those were like shorter videos. And I feel like those were enjoyable as well. If I like shrink it all into like one video, for example, I feel like I did that on a trip recently too. I didn't even vlog. Again, the 2 weeks like Dallas, Nashville, Instagram Reels, if you want to see that. You can find that Instagram link, somewhere around here. It's the Dave K. But, again, figuring it out, trying to be very intentional with content that I share with you, and going to continue to have a passion for entertainment, just going to figure out the direction to really make it work for me. So I want to thank you so much again, as always, and especially with Thanksgiving. I just feel so blessed to be able to have this flexibility in life, to have this passion to share it with you, and to have you being a part of it with me is absolutely huge. I don't know if I'd necessarily still be doing this if I hadn't had the feedback that I've gotten and all of that here today. And so thank you so much again for all of your support, for all your feedback, for all of your time. Thank you so much. So, don't forget to make today, to make this month, to make this year an amazing time, right? Focus on the positivity. Just to be able to hear what I'm saying, to be able to see what you're seeing, to be able to breathe what you're breathing is a gift. Every day and every moment is a gift, even with the challenges you may be facing, because there are definitely challenging times. I've had some recently as well. Maybe nothing too crazy recently, but it really depends on the moment. Some are crazier than others. But again, to me, it's like finding that, looking for that positivity just helps, really appreciate life and have that gratitude and helps live a more fulfilling life. And in the world today, a whole separate conversation. I haven't seen as much as that as I'd love to see. And so I just want to remind you, if you're here with me and you're experiencing the world around us or running into other personal challenges, the power and the beauty of being grateful and the power and beauty of being happy and positive, looking for that silver lining And you could be grateful to the universe, or if you're, religious, there's God, and many ways to be grateful. Grateful to yourself, grateful to your family, etc. Of course, workplace, job, whatever it is. And I feel grateful for pretty much it all. So that's a great way to be. Focus on the positive vibes. Look for the silver lining in everything you do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Favorite videos you've seen, what you're hoping to see more of, and how you're focusing on positivity. You know what you can do in the comments, if you would like, is write out, the 3 things you're most grateful for, or 3 things that you feel good sharing about that you're grateful for, things like that. And I think, help bring more positivity in the world is definitely something we need. And don't forget, another big thing, to hit that subscribe button. Yes, subscribe button, and ring the bell to stay informed of future adventures coming your way. As slow and as stagnant as they may be, they're going to be fun. And I'm going to enjoy sharing them with you. And I will hope you enjoy them as well. So, enjoy it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And until next time, play on. Hello. Can you hear me? I've been wondering if after all these years you'd like to speak. I'm a little dark. To go over. Come on down for me, baby. Down you go, that's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy belated Thanksgiving. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you have a